Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking on one of the most ambitious challenges yet, rebuilding Millwall in Football Manager. Currently sitting mid-table in 12th place in the Championship, it's up to us not only to get them promoted, but to win the Premier League. But here's the catch, we're working with a tight budget and every decision we make could be the difference between glory or disaster. Can we turn this underdog into England's finest and maybe even push for a European title? Let's find out. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So then, this is going to be Millwall inside of Football Manager. Now, they are a team with a lot of history. They've got a bit of a reputation, shall we say. They've got the passion. The fans have got the passion. Reputation is going to be 3 stars. Training 3 stars. Youth facilities 3 stars as well. The youth recruitment, you know, we are going to work on that, so don't worry too much. The owners are actually enjoying life at the club. The bank balance would beg to differ a little bit, but we have got to remember it is on us to attract more sponsors, more fans to come to Millwall by winning big trophies. Now, as a team, they have won trophies in the past. Nothing ridiculous, but 1 Sky Bet Championship, 1 Sky Bet League 1, 1 Sky Bet League 2, and a couple of other trophies. As you can see, a real downward spiral, then it went up, then a little bit down, then back up, then down, then back up. It is like a seesaw. It's down, it's up, it's down, it's up. Today, we want to literally just go upwards. So it is going to be a lot easier said than done. Now, in terms of finances, if you are playing back home, you would have had about £1.5 million to spend. The debts and loans, there is a fair bit for a club like this. 90 million in the net debt, which of course, we can clear. That is no issue at all. Now, in terms of the tactics, we are going to be using a Millwall-based tactic. Now, it was designed off the Arsene Wenger tactic on my sort of main channel, but we have moulded it and tweaked it for this system, and we are actually I'm feeling quite confident. Now, we have got some good players in this team. Obviously, one person I always joke with Jake Cooper, the other FM creator who I work with on FM Scout, is Jake Cooper at the back, so hopefully Jake can do a good job. If he does watch this, shout out to you. We have got 2 players in the main team that are on loan, so realistically it's probably the best situation we've had in a long time. The past rebuilds I've done, like 4 of our first 11 have been on loan, and it adds a ton of pressure. Now, the quality of these players, obviously I know some players in the team. I know Cooper, obviously Tanganga, Honeyman, Connolly, I know them players. The rest of them, I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend because it's outright disrespectful. Now, I will say at any part of this video, if you do want to get all of these perks, including all of my rebuild files, including this one, all of my tactics, including this one, console tactics, mobile tactics, one-on-one tactical help, and so much more, you can head over to the Patreon where there's 20% off your first month. So make sure you head on over and get involved. Now, in terms of the actual competitions, let's talk business, because the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, I'm not really too fussed what happens. The Championship, you know what I want. You know what I want. I want to get promoted. Now, realistically, we are predicted to finish in 18th place. So I'm going to allow myself a season of minimum getting into the playoffs. But if you want me to be honest, I think we could get promoted first season. The team's not great, but the team's also not horrific. This 4-4-2 is either going to work or it will sink. So we're going to find out pretty quickly. And the only way we can do that is to crack on. So Q Season 1. Right, it's going to get tasty because we are actually going to be playing in the playoff final. Now, this is the most exciting situation you can ever have in the Championship. Now, we did stuff Sheffield United 7-4, but we are playing a very good Middlesbrough team, and I believe it's going to be a bit of a blockbuster game, so we are going to go and watch it. Let's hope we can take them on. But it is a big trip to London, and this is a big occasion. Millwall down the right-hand side. Harding is going to take on his man inside of 90 minutes, a ball inside, and our Millwall going up. It's a great start and a great goal, and we are now going to find ourselves in the 80th minute. Middlesbrough made some changes, and they are not messing about, and Jake Cooper has an absolute stinker. The goalkeeper's gone home, and it is going to be Ignacio of all people somehow at Middlesbrough, and he is going to tie the game up in the 80th minute. 82 minutes played, surely not. Surely not. Tons of space down the right-hand side. Please, not like this. Not like this. It is like that. We are going to fail, and we are going to be currently losing 2-1, and it gets even worse. We lose the playoff final 3-1 in the end. It's an utter Millwall collapse. It's heartbreak. Absolute devastation. Is right, we lose 3-1 in the Sky Bet Championship playoff final. Absolute heartbreak. The FA Cup was okay. I mean, we're not going to beat Liverpool. Let's be humble. We are going to get to the quarterfinals, and the third round we are going to lose to Burnley in a very, very close game. So, for a first season, it's not horrific, but to get to the playoff final and lose is a little bit heartbreaking. That's common sense. Looking at the team, we have got some key performers in this team. We've got to be fair on them because it wasn't a bad season in terms of performance. We got into a good area, but at the end of the day, we just couldn't quite get the job done at Wembley. Now, in terms of wing-backs, I'm actually quite happy because 6 assists and 12 assists is very good for this level. Jake Cooper with 11 goals from my set pieces. If you don't have them, make sure you head on over because the Patreon does have them and they absolutely cook. 11 and 15 from Honeyman. He is a very good winger. 4 and 10 coming in there from Wintle. Again, a loanee player. How much is he going to be valued at? 2.1 million. Probably could afford him depending on the budget. Great coming in there from Coburn, 15 and 4, and Connolly, who is, by the way, a bit of a bagsman. He's very, very well-rounded player, only 24 as well, 19 and 7. 16 and 6 coming in there as well for the backup man up front, a very, very solid striker. So worst comes to worst, we don't buy this lad, we can rely on him. 18 and 5 from Langstaff. In fact, I tell you what, because he's also looking pretty good as well, we probably won't sign Coburn because we don't really need him. There's no point spending money. We also have a lone player coming back in the likes of Nisbet, who scored 7, so we don't really need to go and sign him. Now, in terms of actual team, obviously there's loads we can improve, but we are literally going into our first official window and we've only got 1.5 million. Now, considering we can look at the situation here, we are going to have some contracts coming up, we are going to have bills to pay, we are going to have, you know, these players have got to eat, we are going to have to pay out money. I think we're going to be lucky to do one transfer, but we are going to give it a go and see what we can do. Let's cue season 2. Hopefully with some transfers. If not, we will go right into the results. So to clarify, there was literally no business going out or coming in. The loan players went back, our players loaned out, come back to us, and we stuck with a plan of using our strikers. We do get to the third round of the Carabao Cup once again, and we are going to fall to West Ham. Again, we're nowhere near. Oh, that is not a nice team to lose to, actually. Oh, that's not a nice team to lose to. It is what it is, though. We're not there yet. The FA Cup against Chelsea, a 2-1 defeat. Again, it's a team which we can't simply take on. There is no frustration because we have won the championship. 2 seasons in the championship, we finally found our stride and only lose 9 games. So it is quite close, I will say, between us and Bournemouth and even Burnley up there. So a very, very, very tight season, but it always is in the championship, especially when you're playing as Millwall. Now, I will say we have got 2 players in the top goal scorers, so that's an absolute blessing. And Aaron Connolly is going to get some game time in the Prem. He looks like an absolute monster. Genuinely, good acceleration, good pace, good composure, good finishing. I'm going to give him some time in the Prem. The same could be said for Langstaff, but not as confident. I don't know what it is about him. I just don't get the same vibe. We do, however, also have 3 players when it comes to the assists. Joint first, 21 each, by the way. 21 each, which is incredible. Our clear downside is not having that real world-class, not world-class, but, you know, standout goalkeeper. But, I mean, Adam Mayer, Mayo, should we say, he's had an absolute joy out on the left-hand side. He has had a stellar season, and so have we. Promotion into the Premier League, and we should have minimum 30 million? Beautiful. More than that, we've got 51 million to spend. The debts and loans are still there, so we are, you know, we've got to spend to stay up, but I'll try not to go too crazy. But we are going to spend to stay up. That is how football works, unless you're Norwich, of course. But going over to the tactics, we can go and see once again, this is incredible because we now have 15 and 25 from our left wing, 28 and 10 from Langstaff, Comedy 35 and 10, Cooper with 23. Now, I will say that even surprises me with my set pieces because that shows how broken they actually are. Now, I will say there are some teams in this league that simply can't defend, so maybe we stat padded a bit, but if you do want to get the most broken set pieces you'll find, make sure you go and get them because that's 23 goals we wouldn't have had. 11 and 19 coming in from the backup man up front. A very good return from the entire team. But now we look on to the reality. We are now into the Premier League, the hardest league in the world. And how many of these players survive in the Premier League? Now, I think Connolly and Langstaff potentially can get the job done up front for a season to make us survive. Usually the golden rule is to improve your goalkeeper and backline. That's the priority. But in this scenario, you could probably pick out a few people in midfield you replace as well. Despite having great seasons, Honeyman again, 6 and 22, Saville having a decent season. Realistically, we have to be somewhat, understanding of the fact that we are in the Championship, we're not into the Premier League, and the Premier League is a lot harder. So we're going to go over, we're going to invest big, let's run it up. Right, then we're going to be smart with our business, because when we have got free agents available, I'm going to pick them up. The first player is going to be Crepin Diatta, coming in from Monaco. He comes in on the free. He plays 30 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. It's not electric stat lines, but he's an extra player for the team, and if he does flop, it could be a free 15 million. Another player on the free is going to be 28-year-old Lucas Fernandez. He comes in from PTM, and he actually does okay. 2 goals, 5 assists. Again, I'm not expecting anything amazing from these players. It's more to build up a squad of better quality, and then once these players get older, we can sell them, or maybe they just improve as we go along throughout the seasons. You've got to imagine, when you get promoted to the Premier League, you can't always attract the best of the best, so sometimes you've got to settle. Well, this man is an absolute... You either love him or hate him. I quite like him. It's going to be Big Neil. We're going to bring him in from Everton, or Leicester, should I say. He has played for so many different English clubs, and he actually, he was incredible, okay? 23 goals, 7 assists, and for a freebie, absolutely incredible. He is 29, so he is on the older side, but I tell you what, for a free signing, 20 plus goals, not too shabby. First paid signing is going to be Patrick. He is going to come in from Aston Villa. And I was surprised I got him, because when you actually look at him as an individual, I don't know if you've used him, 15 acceleration, 16 agility, 15 pace, 14 composure, 15 dribbling, 14 finishing, 14 technique, 13 flair, good vision. He is perfect. A perfect winger. He is on 62 grand a week, so a fair bit. And he picked up 19 assists. Now, he never would probably go out and score tons of goals, because he is more of the playmaking winger. But do you know what? For a first season, I'm not going to fault the lad at all. What a player. One of the more sought-after centre-backs in world football, especially in this game, is going to be Caleb Okoli, coming in from Leicester. He comes in for 26 million. Yeah, he picks up 4 goals, but the key attraction is, one, he dropped a very good average rating for his first season, really he has played at Leicester, to be fair to him, but in the Premier League, as a new man coming into a Millwall team, it's not easy, especially when you're right at the drop. And I tell you what, he offers so much, man. He really, really does. The tackling's already pre-built. He's quick, he's strong. He's just a very well-rounded centre-back. Have gone, and I could not attract any real top talent goalkeepers, but we are going to invest, I think it was 6 million in Carl Rushworth. He didn't have a great season. He didn't have a great season. Move on. And it did surprise me, because we did have a good centre-back in front of him in Jacob Greaves, coming in from Ipswich Town. He comes in for nearly 20 million, and again, similar to Okoli, it's a very good return for a first year. We can afford to use a bit of a slower centre-back, because the man next to him is absolutely rapid. So, it does work, and it does surprise me, because our backline's actually quite strong. I think maybe the goalkeeper we signed just had a bit of an adapting season. In the Carabao Cup, and if I'm not mistaken, that is now every season, every third round exit. This time a 2-0 defeat to Brentford. FA Cup, again, Liverpool are going to be a big issue, and again, a 4-1 defeat. But what I show you next is nothing short of simply lovely. 3, 2, 1... Bang! We are in top 6 football. We are in Europa League in the first season, and Neil Maupay is nearly outscoring Erling Haaland. And look who's up there in the mix. The man I give a chance, Aaron Connolly, with 18 goals in the Premier League, which is incredible. We have also got Patrick, the new man on the wing, as the Premier League top assister. Again, defensively, we are not really there, apart from Tanganga with the most yellow cards, which is good old Millwall. We love it. But I will say, it's a fantastic season, and it should do wonders for our budget. Before we see our budget, let's go and see how the player's done. We're going to lock in the best 11. Here we go. So it is going to be Connolly and Maupay up front. 26 and 21. That is perfect. This man here, this new winger, his assist ratio is incredible. The wing-backs are really struggling in terms of their assist ratio compared to the previous season. Greaves and Akoli, 6 goals between them. Not too bad from centre-back. Lucas Fernandez, 2 and 7. 5 for Langstaff as well. 2 and 5 coming in for this man here, who again was great in the previous 2 seasons. But as it's pretty obvious, the team's still not quite ready to compete for a Premier League. We're quite a bit away off. You could probably replace, well, the left back, potentially right back, goalkeeper, definitely midfielders need to be improved, and then you look to improve the overall squad. So we need a hefty budget here to carry on the progression. I'm going to want at least 50. And we've got just shy of it. It's okay. 43.5 million. The debts and loans are slowly going down as we are being more competitive. I mean, we are now playing in the Europa League, which is massive for Millwall. Massive for Millwall. Not only have we survived, look how many points we were off the drop. It is such a strong first season. And it comes down to a multiple set of things. I will say, we've actually got our first signing coming in. So that can be a little spoiler for next year. Rodrigo coming in for a total of, what, £9 million we've agreed? 9.2 million. He looks absolutely incredible. But I'll be honest, this window we had, we lost one man, and Ethan Wadey's not really a big loss. This window was absolutely incredible, but that's in the past. Let's focus on the future. Next season. Be sure to leave a like, whack on the subscribe. So I did show you this signing, that Rodrigo fella, who looks very, very good. And I will tell you one thing. The man we paid £9 million for, who, as we saw, was a Sky Bet Championship player, had a very, very, very solid season, and instantly now is a decent Premier League player. And the main attraction is these mental attributes. He's incredible. How we have got the pull to get this man, I don't actually know, but we are going to sign Kang-in Lee, of course, previously from PSG, then West Ham, which again is very controversial, but we are going to get it done, for 18.7 million, 8 goals, 5 assists, 6.88 on that average rating. I tell you what, to attract a player like this can win you a Premier League. He genuinely has got unbelievable talent. Next up is going to be Guindo, one of my favourite left backs in this game from the mighty Salzburg. 21 million, returns us 3 goals, 2 assists, and close to a 7 rating for a 24-year-old who, I will say, offers pretty much everything apart from good crossing. The pace is there, the acceleration is there, the work rate, the stamina, the tackling, the crossing we're going to work with him on, but as attacking wing-backs go, he's one of the better options that would join Millwall. If you're a United fan, you probably will like this signing. It is going to be Dylan Levitt. He is going to come in on the free just as a backup. He plays 7 games, doesn't really do much in those games, but this is a signing purely to add legs to the squad. And once again, if the cash comes in, we can easily get sort of 20 million. So it's business and a sensible 2 in 1. Lastly, a player that is expected to play it is going to be Illich. He comes in on the free. Surprised he chose us, considering he's only on 44 grand a week as well. Other teams probably would have offered him more, but maybe he trusts the Millwall project. He's a fantastic Premier League player, one of the most well-rounded players we have got by a country mile, and he actually picks up 11 assists and a goal and drops above a 7 rating. So he has come into the team and not just taken to the team, but really established himself. And it is such a strong window. 4 incredible players here. We'll say 3 because Levitt is a backup. Obviously Rodrigo as well. We have strengthened significantly, but we are also now playing in the Europa League. So have we done enough to be competitive and hold that sort of top 6 Premier League placement? I don't know. Carabao Cup is going to be a big improvement. We get all the way to the final where sadly we are going to lose against Liverpool, but that is some improvement on previous years. Oh boy, 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 boy. I'm going to say it once, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to get knocked out in the 4th round against Blackburn on penalties. Let's move on. Europa League, we went invincible in the league phase. Invincible in the league phase, beating teams like Roma, Fiorentina, Club Brugge, Sparta Prague. Decent teams. We are then going to go through to the round of 16 and just about edge over AS Roma 4-3. Quarterfinals, again, actually, it's not close at all. A 6-3 win over Galatasaray. Into the semis, and we beat Lazio 8-3 over 2 legs. And we're now playing probably the hardest team out of this selection in Besiktas in the final. That's not going to be pretty. You've always got a good chance when you've got the Josh Daly set pieces. We are going to go 1-0 up inside of 31 minutes. I always back my set pieces, but it didn't stop this from happening. They are going to find a way back into the game literally about 2 minutes after. It's a failed clearance, and you know what? Rashiska, he always takes them chances. So a tied-up game so far at 1-1. The Besiktas are not going to play about now. They've got the momentum. They're feeling it in their stride. And look at this. Touch, pause, drive, and simply engage. A 2-1 lead for Besiktas inside of 37 minutes. And it seems like they might be getting quite hot here, right? No. We are then going to win the ball back. Morpay is going to go right over the top into Connolly. A touch and a finish, and it is all tied up 2-2 inside of 56 minutes. We are now the team in form. We are the team with the confidence. Ilic is going to drive. No one can stop him. He's taken on everyone into Connolly, and we are now going to lead the final of the Europa League 3-2 in the 63rd minute. The Josh Daly set pieces, I think we will. That is going to be Greaves coming in, and we are now 4-2 up in this final. The Josh Daly set pieces coming in. We are now going to be 5-2 up in this Europa League final with Greaves coming in. They are then going to go and get a little set piece goal of their own, but we lift the final 5-3. So it's a good job we did win the Europa League, because we fell off big time in the Premier League. I say fell off, we were literally 6 points off that top 7, but we are going to be in the Europa League regardless. But obviously the main aim of the video is to win the Premier League, so it is concerning to have that drop off. But I'm hoping for the Cashola we might have done quite well, because we did win the Europa League. Now Ilic is the only player worth mentioning in terms of the player stats. Other than that, the only thing we had was yellow cards. In terms of the money, we have got £95 million to go and spend. The debts and loans are almost cleared as well, so we've done such a good thing for this club by lifting that Europa League and getting to this final. And getting Champions League football. Let's not just forget that as well, the big perk of winning the Europa League. Now, as a team, I tell you what, I am so impressed with the tactic, with the players. Greaves, 14 goals, by the way. We saw several in the final. 4 and 7 from Tanganga at right back, Guindo 5 and 6, 4 from Akoli, 10 and 11 coming in from the right wing, 2 and 6 coming in there. I mean, 4 and 27 from Ilic, a beautiful season. 14 and 10 from Lee, a decent season. 31 and 7 for Morpay, incredible. 23 and 10 for Connolly. The bench is looking quite quiet, and again, it goes back to what I say time in, time out. And you've got a team like Millwall. It's not always about just signing these incredible £50 million players. It's sometimes better to go and have a season where you sign 7, not average, but upcoming players, because the bench simply won't cut it. And the luxury we've got at the moment is every season, as we've got contracts expiring, so realistically, 2027, there is not a single one of these players that I even want to keep. So they can just go. They're all on the transfer list. If they don't accept transfers, they'll get released. Get off the wage book, because 20k here, 35k, 25k, 20k, you know, it all adds up. We can actually fund a good player and actually pay his wage. So you like it or you lump it. Simple. It's my management style. So let's go into the next season. After winning the Europa League, how we're going to do in the Champions League, I don't know. Can you imagine Millwall against PSG? Because we're going into the Champions League, I'm signing a Champions League striker. We have picked up Karim Kanate. Now, the guy is on a serious bit of money, 115k a week. But before we even talk about the physical stats, the mental, the technical, which he's an absolute demon in, he has scored 21 goals and 6 assists. Well, he's assisted 6. He has returned every penny. I don't even care. He was 40 million. I don't care. He has returned very well in his first season. 17 acceleration, 16 pace, 15 finishing, 13 composure. The guy is an absolute monster. Him and Connolly genuinely are going to work together very well. I honestly believe that. We are also going to pick up a stacked midfielder, meaning we have now got Ilic and Tom Grouse, if that's how you say that, next to him. A player valued at 87 million, we got him on the free. He's returned a great average rating, 9 assists, 3 goals, a real stellar Premier League performance, incredibly well-rounded, and he can play in the ball-winning midfielder role. We have literally now got a perfect midfield player pairing, and we didn't pay a penny. It's incredible. The man we did spend money on, and I think a fair deal, is going to be Andrew. He comes in for 26 million, 2 goals, 1 assist, 6.86. I will say good, not excellent, but for another centre-back option who has played in England before for some pretty big clubs in Norwich and Nottingham Forest, he's got the pace going for him, he's got the tackling, he's pretty complete. I'm going to take it. Lastly, because I'm not happy with my goalkeeper that I did spend 7 million on, we are going to pick up the previous Arsenal man, Carl Jacob Hein. He comes in for a total of 9 million. Now, I will say he does concede a lot of goals. He does, however, keep 10 clean sheets and drop above a 7 rating with 4 player of the matches. So it's not an individual bad performance from him. It would be from the entire back line if we did concede a fair few goals. So I think as goalkeepers go, I've never signed him before, but he's a decent Premier League player. He was a Championship standard player when we signed him, but I'm hoping he can sort of see us through and carry on improving. Because if I sign a third goalkeeper in this rebuild, I've not got my first 2 right. So our first chance to actually win a trophy that we've never seen before, the UEFA Super Cup, and we do win, and we beat Real Madrid on penalties. Now, the stats were brutal. We got absolutely slaughtered, but the fact we can keep a clean sheet against Madrid, that's actually quite impressive, and it makes me wonder, can we replicate that to an extent in the Champions League? I think I might be going over the top. Well, a big knockdown in the Carabao Cup, but it's because we played Man City and we get a bit of a taste of our own medicine. A 0-0 game and a loss on penalties. But again, a 0-0 draw against City. Are we finally being competitive now? Maybe not, as we are going to go and lose to Brighton 3-2 in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We can't quite master the English trophies. Right, the champion, I think Millwall might be a European powerhouse. We are nearly going to go invincible in the Champions League phase. Now, I will say, first of all, we do play some smaller teams. AZ, Sevilla. I mean, they're not small teams, by the way. Bologna, Besiktas, Zurich. They're teams we can beat, not small teams. A 3-0 win over Madrid. A 4-1 win over AC Milan. The only loss against RB Leipzig. And of course, that means no knockoff playoff round. We're right into the round of 16. Where we're going to, I mean, it's close, and I mean, you can't get much closer. Penalties are the only other way. 4-3, so a very, very close game. We are then going to go, oh my god, okay, 4-3 against Madrid. We have literally, in fact, that would have been a comeback because we won 4-1. So that would have been a serious game. 4-3 on that regard. Semis, 7-6. Every game, am I correct in saying that? Every game has been won by a goal. And we are now playing, they have battered United, but I think we're going to lose. They've slaughtered United 5-1. But we have got to a final in the most unique way possible. We've got to go watch it. Even if we lose 8-0, I'm going to watch it. Right then, well, the Champions League final, and we're the ones with the highlights, so let's just say that right now. And I tell you what, we're going to get off to a great start there inside of 29 minutes. And a little fun fact, I thought we were going to get a second, but it went to VAR, it got disallowed, and it was not an ideal situation. Liverpool then capitalise on that and make it 1-1 with technically a Tanganga own goal. Liverpool do go down to 10 men, and we go all the way to penalties after extra time. We score our first one. Musiala steps, a great penalty. They've got world-class players in this team. We've only got a couple that I'll describe as really in that category. A great penalty from Kraus though. Gravenberch is going to step, and it is going to be an immaculate penalty from an immaculate player. Lee Kang-in is going to step, a beautiful penalty right down the middle. Cody Gakpo is going to step, and it is again going to be a dead replica, a beautiful penalty. Honeyman is going to just, and I mean just, beat Becker. Liverpool step, and it is going to be again, the penalties have been absolutely delightful. Illich is going to step up and again sends Becker the wrong way. Beautiful to see. Luis Diaz is going to step up, and again the keeper goes the wrong way. The penalties have been nothing shy of absolutely incredible. It is a great penalty shootout, but we are going to lift it 6-5. And I tell you what, I can hardly talk because we've won the Europa League and then the Champions League in back-to-back seasons. We do go over and obviously win that Champions League, and I'm honestly lost for words because our first season in Europa League, we won it. Our first season in the Champions League, we won it. Yes, I mean, I won't say it was scrappy because we deserved to get through the league phase, but the knockout stages was very ropey, but we got the job done somehow. without a single player apart from assists in the stat line. So that says a lot about it. But I will say, the league, we are working our way back into the top 7. We still need to, of course, win this Premier League, the whole part of the video. We have got Champions League football again, because we won the Champions League. Kanate is going to be the second top goal scorer, which is nice to see. Marmoush at Villa. Kanate, the 4th best performer. We've also got him as the joint second most player of the matches, and our right wing with the joint second most amount of assists. Now, what I've never had is a keeper that has been in the clean sheet, so we are going to go and see quite quickly, and yes, that's the issue. So whatever money we have, I think I'm going to put into the back line, because we're the best in the league at scoring, and we finished 7th because our back line is the 8th best, so not acceptable at all. We have got a budget of... That's not updated, so we will have more than that. I hope we've got more than that, because I've just won them a Champions League, but realistically, looking at this team on paper, let's just go and see what we've done, okay? Because, I mean, it is a bit of a drop-off for Connolly, I will be honest. Kanate had a great season, 14 and 11 for Lee. Kanate 28, Morpay would have been playing, wouldn't he? So that's more like it. 27 and 13. Neil Morpay is a Europa League and Champions League winner. Who would have thought it? Greaves coming in with 10. I would probably put him in alongside of him, to be honest. 16 goals across both centre-backs. It's still a big... There's still a lot of work to do, is what I'm trying to say. The squad still isn't completely developed. I mean, there's still players on the bench who probably shouldn't really be at this stage, because we just simply can't offload them. But we are going to go into the next season, which I believe is... Is it going into season 6 or 7? Maybe 7. And we are going to see what we can do, because at the end of the day, we are able to win a Europa League and a Champions League. Usually you win the Prem before those, so let's go and see what happens, because if we can compete against Madrid, you know, Milan, all these big teams, surely we can improve and at least finish in the actual top 4 in the Prem. Let's go and see. So then, season 6 it is. I am correct, season 6. And I was not going to sign another goalkeeper until I saw Restes on the free. And you have to pick him up, because he is absolutely incredible, has a good first season, and he is genuinely one of the best keepers in the game, especially when it's developed like this, and especially when he's on the free. The downside, 200 grand a week. The upside, world class, valued at 70 million. 2 big upsides. Josip Sotalo is also going to join on the free for a bit of experience. He plays 35 games, 1 assist, and drops a 6.93. He slots right into the team as probably one of our better, more experienced men at the back. Good mental stats, good technical. He's reasonably quick at the age that he is as well. And again, business-wise, £70 million value, and we spent nothing. It's smart. We're going to bring in 2 backup wing-backs, and you will know them both very well. None of them have really developed to their maximum potential, but that is where we come in to save them, and they are happy with being backups for now, / working their way into the first team. Fresneda, you know him, I know him, we all know him. He comes in for £8 million, 16 games, a very good return in the average rating. We're working with him on a one-to-one basis, training, really getting him down, because he can develop into a really good player. Unfortunately, this save has not been given that treatment, so it's down to us to revive him, and he's a really good option to have at right back. Same is going to be said for Kirkes. Again, we've turned him. He was actually a Skybet Championship player, but he come in, he played every game, didn't pick up an assist, which is a bit weird, but drops a 6.75, and I tell you what, once again, he is incredible. 16 acceleration, 15 pace, good tackling, good crossing, good bravery, good determination, good work rate, good off the ball work. He is an incredible left back who genuinely we have saved in one season, and we spent a total of 7 million. Realistically, give it a couple of years, that value is going to be up there, literally through the roof. It's a great signing. Decided to give Kanate the ultimate striker partner in Claudio Echeverri, I believe that's how you say that. He's going to come in from Man City for 60 million. More of a sort of link-up player. 12 and 15, 7.17, a great amount of player of the matches. And I say a link-up player, the guy can finish as well, but he has got the passing, he's got the technique, he's got the vision, he's got the off the ball. The first touch and dribbling is almost Messi-esque. It genuinely is. But the guy is just an absolute monster. And I'm looking at him and Kanate up front, and I'm going to say it right now. I'll be surprised if we don't win the league. I mean, the people we've brought in, we have brought in a world-class keeper, world-class centre-back, an incredible backup right-back, a serious left-back from Liverpool, originally from Bournemouth, obviously, a great striker, and only lost 3 players that never got game time. This is probably our best window as to date. And it does show, as we are going to actually finish in the UCL placements in the Prem, and not too many points off Liverpool in rank 1. And it is going to be Kanate again, coming in with 19 goals, just behind Haaland. We are also going to see the new man as the top assister. The man that I said was a bit of a link-up man is going to be the link-up man. He comes in with 15 assists. Other than that, a very quiet season. But to be honest with you, I don't care. We finally are in the top 4 placements, and it shows that we are slowly growing. But the question is, can we win any other cups? That's the big one. The Champions League, we were not expecting to go back-to-back, and it's going to be quite an early exit. We are going to go out in a round of 16. How do we do in the league phase out of interest? Still very good. So, I mean, we're still beating teams. Oh, wow. We're beating PSG, Dortmund, Inter. We're getting points against Napoli, and we're only losing against Celtic. We can go toe-to-toe with anyone. We really can. Apart from Nottingham Forest, as we are going to lose in the 4th round of the actual Carabao Cup in a 2-0 loss. I think we should be doing better, and it doesn't really improve, boys. I'm going to be honest. We're going to get knocked out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup against United down here, 1-0, and the Super Cup we are going to lose. Now, I don't really mind this because, of course, we did win it last year, so we have had our chance. We have won it. We've sort of ticked that off and moved on, and let's just be fair so far to us, okay? The rebuild's been incredible because Millwall, their reputation, by the way, is now literally through the roof. And look at this. A Champions League, a Super Cup, a Europa League, and of course another Sky Bet Championship. If you introduce a Premier League title in there, which this video won't end until we do, we have given them the ultimate success. Now, to go into Season 7, we have got a budget of 63 million, and once again, that is going to have to be put into the back line, I believe, which still does surprise me a little bit. Now, I will go over and say, in terms of a team, what we have built here is genuinely beautiful. If you do want to get the team, or the tactic and the rebuild file, do go over to the Patreon, because I will plug it, but there is endless content on there, and I genuinely say it out of being proud of it. There's so much on there. If you like FM, you'll have an absolute field day. And the team that you've got here is nothing shy of just, it's so good. I mean, you've got a world-class goalkeeper. Right backs, you've got Tanganga, who's doing the job, but also you've got Fresneda. We've got good centre-back options. You've got Guindo and Kirkes. You've got a great winger in Lee, a great winger here in Walemark. You've got a solid midfield. Maybe we do sign another midfielder, actually, for backup. Strikers, this is a lethal partnership. I mean, we're talking 20 and 18, 23 and 7, 12 and 10 from the right, from the left, sorry. Illich 5 and 9, 8 and 8 for Grouse. Walemark 12 and 12. The wing backs were a little bit quiet with the assist category, but they are going to go down a little bit because now Tanganga is also playing alongside of Fresneda, and obviously Guindo is playing alongside of Kirkes and also Greaves, who can play there. So let's get into the next season after a strong season in the Prem, but a weaker season in the rest. Please, let's just try and let's work our way up to 2nd. Let's make it happen. All right, so we had a big budget, and I'm sick and tired of being one of the weaker, not one of the weakest, but one of the weakest in the top pack at the back. So we have spent big on Antonio Silva, some up front, some also in installments. He comes in and drops a decent performance. Didn't play every game, funny enough, so he is going to be competing with the rest, but he is a leading player, a model citizen, and when you look for world class, you turn to Antonio Silva. I will apologise to Liverpool fans, though, because I've taken you right back and I've also taken you centre back, so I do apologise. Also going to take a bit of a gamble on signing a wonder kid who is valued at 76 to 88 million, an American, so a bit of a unique one. Very rarely I sign sort of, not Americans, but rarely I get American wonder kids is what I'm saying. He looks very well-rounded. He's got the determination and flair and the off-the-ball work. He's a 4-star ability at 20, and he did score 14 goals, to be fair to him. So he has come in and done well. We only paid 9 million. He's now worth 80. So, I mean, in that regard, it's an absolute incredible signing. We might have done well here. So I'm going to pick up a backup hopefully a winger in Jonathan Rowe. He comes in for £16 million, was happy with being that backup role, and did actually impress. He played a ton of games. 8 goals, 10 assists, actually stepped in and pretty much stamped his mark down instantly. A great season for a very, very good player. Just for the experience in the Prem, not on a serious contract in terms of length, and valued at a ton of money at 60 million, we pick up Decore. He comes in on the free, plays a lot of games, really steps in as an experienced man, played 243 games for Palace. The guy knows England and the English League inside out. Lastly, on the free, we are going to pick up another backup winger for the left-hand side in Oscar Piera. He comes in, plays 22 games, doesn't do that well, to be honest, but he is an option to have from the bench and purely a quick player to bring in from that bench to really, really sort of target tired and weak legs. We do lose a few players here, some on the free, some are going out on loan, but overall we have strengthened again, and we have strengthened big time, multiple positions. Let's see how we done. Even with those wonderful signings, we still are going to get knocked out in the third round of the FA Cup over Brighton in 3-1 fashion. We can't win that trophy, can we? I tell you what, though, we have got a chance to actually win something and win a trophy we haven't won before. The Carabao Cup against Liverpool. Unfortunately, Liverpool... Oh, Restes, you've got to be doing better there, sunshine. It's going to be a 1-0 deficit so far. But luckily for us, we've got Illich, who has been nothing shy of simply sublime. A great ball into the box, and it is going to be the Wonder Kid man, the Wonder Kid himself, making it 1-1 inside of 23 minutes. And that is a lot more positive. Kirkhead's getting some game time in a cup final. Really showcasing his dominance over Guindo. Down the left-hand side, the ball inside the box, and the Wonder Kid is going to make it 2-1. The comeback so far has been completed, or has it? It hasn't. Szoboszlai, great touch inside. Trent, plenty of space to drive into. Good overlap option. Gravenberch is going to go through and go alone, and it stands 2-2 in 36 minutes. But this goal wins us the Carabao Cup, and I tell you what, it's the other new man, Antonio Silva. We turn our attention to the Champions League and our worst performance in the league phase. We are actually going to beat teams like Frankfurt, Benfica, Porto, Roma. We draw against Club Brugge, against City, and we lose again against Leipzig, the only team we can't beat really in Europe. Now, the round of 16, it was actually a bit of a blitzing, a 7-2 win over Bilbao. The quarterfinals, a 4-2 win over Liverpool. I'm glad we got them out of the way because we always struggle against them. The semi-finals, we are going to go over and beat Barcelona 5-3, and we match up against Bayern, who would actually rather than RB Leipzig because we can't beat Leipzig at the moment. It's impossible. So another Champions League final and another opportunity to really make Millwall one of the biggest teams in the world. And I tell you what, we got off to an electric start. A great goal from Kanate inside of 12 minutes on the clock. A beautiful start to any game, especially the Champions League final. Tanganga, who has been nothing short of absolutely amazing this entire video. Down the right-hand side, and it is going to be the other new man, the previous man from last season from City, to make it 2-0. And all Bayern could do is offer a little consolation goal. So that is right, I'm going to say it right now, apart from Harry Kane grabbing that, we're going to be your winners. Can now call us 2-time Champions League winners, because as you can see, we won it here and we won it there. So 3 years, 2 Champions League wins. I'm pretty sure it's okay. And look who got the top goal scorer. The Wonder Kid. The Wonder Kid. It's absolutely incredible. Restes also in their joint second with the most clean sheets. This is absolutely beautiful. This is incredible. Genuinely mind-boggling. And do you know what else is mind-boggling? We've won the Premier League, so we have done a treble in our last season. We've completed the challenge, going over to this. 27 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses. Very close with Liverpool, but we've got the job done. And it's this man, the man from Man City, who they really shouldn't have sold, has helped us win the Premier League big time. Illich, the best player in the Prem overall. Restes, finally a keeper of ours in the clean sheets. This is absolutely incredible. What a last season, a treble, an actual treble with Millwall. The budget is absolutely through the roof, 67 million. Your debt is a little bit there, but realistically, you've not got to sign anyone that crazy for the next couple seasons, just maybe some backups. The team you've been left with is nothing shy of absolutely incredible. I mean, the striker lineup, might be the best I've created. The midfield pairing, both on the three's incredible. The backline's incredible. The keeper's incredible. It's just, what a team. 20 goals compared... How many goals have the centre-backs got? So you got 10 and 10, 14 goals for the centre... Oh, not 14, 24 goals for the centre-backs. It's absolutely nuts. One of my funnest rebuilds I've done by a long shot. So much fun. From the Championship, not only to the Premier League, but to the Europa League, to the Champions League. Let's just go and see what we've done. The reputation is now 5 out of 5. Yeah, I mean, come on, people. 2 Champions League, 1 Premier League, 1 Club World Championship, 1 Europa League, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 1 Carabao Cup, an additional Sky Bet Championship. That's a 10-10 rebuild. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and definitely drop a like on this one. Be sure to subscribe as well. And if you want to carry on the rebuild, which I imagine a few people will, and get this broken, I will say broken tactic because of what it achieved, it is nuts, you can head over to the Patreon in the description and join a team of close to 5.2k people. Loads of people getting involved, and I'm going to set you a challenge, as I always do for my wonderful viewers. Your challenge, and I think it's doable, I was one off it, win the quadruple: Prem, Champions League, Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. That's your challenge. Best of luck, people. Go and grab the save file and prove me wrong. I'll see you in the next one.